I want to use technology not to separate people, instead connecting people. I hope the humanoids are gonna come soon and they can help to find us our most like-minded people. Sometimes we need to be like a robot to be like successful. I was trying to build a humanoid who can understand me better. Sales is not about the producting. People want to follow people instead of products. There is no excuse to not to develop ourselves. Only excuses you don't want it. I am gonna be resilient after understanding those challenges. It's not about the location, it's all about the people, it's all about the experience.
Hello everyone, welcome to this episode of Many Firsts, the podcast where we explore the power of first-time experiences and share transformative and inspirational moments in our lives. I'm your host, Regula Fischer, and I'm super happy to be here today, live in the studio with Merve Isler. Welcome, Merve.
Hello, thanks for having me.
So nice that you made it to the studio today. You are a globally recognized community builder and the founder of Marvelous. Merve is the founder of Marvelous. I think there's a connection. And with your business, you empower creators and brands to build authentic connections with their communities and to hold meaningful events. And I don't know, how has your day been so far today? Any marvelous things? Marvelous to have you, first of all, but then, any marvels that you have had in your day today so far?
Yeah, actually, like, first of all, thanks for having me again. And I'm so happy to be in Dubai right now. It's like 12 hours difference with San Francisco. I had a flight like for the conference, and then afterwards we hosted an event yesterday. It was amazing. I feel really good. I was a little bit tired yesterday, but now I'm fully energized again. So yeah, and everything is good. It's such a warm weather here, so I'm so happy. Yeah,
it's beautiful. Is it different in San Francisco at the moment, the weather? I'm not up to date with the West Coast at the moment.
It's not super cold like Istanbul right now, but it's good. Yeah, it's not so bad. Yeah.
You mentioned, so you like warm weather, huh?
Oh, yeah. I like warm weather. Yeah.
And you mentioned Istanbul. So you're originally from Turkey. You're living in San Francisco.
Yes.
And now you're visiting Dubai. So how has San Francisco become your home?
Oh, it's a actually interesting story. Like the story started like the first time when I was in San Francisco. I was a computer science student. And Google invited me. I was volunteering that time at the communities. I was hosting events about the latest tech trends and all the, the developer tools in my city. And then they invited me for the Google I/O. And it was my first time in San Francisco. And I felt like, wow, I should live here. I should make it happen. But that time I was just a student, basically. There wasn't any clue for that. So basically, in 5 years, I started building those communities for Google and then led the region around like 150 communities. And then it was such a good days because I was doing like what I was super passionate about, even just for, I was just volunteering. I mean, when I first got the job, are you guys going to pay me for this? Really? Like, because I was so happy basically. And yeah, basically it was my first time. And in 5 years, like all the, the career updates in my life. And then afterwards, I decided to start my own tech business and then basically just moved to San Francisco myself. And yeah, I live there now. It's been more than 2 years. Yeah.
And you're enjoying it.
Oh, yeah. I love San Francisco. Yeah, I love California.
What is it specifically that the city gives you or the area?
Yeah, actually, I'm a community person. I've been building a lot of communities and I believe the power of communities and also people that you hang out with. So basically in San Francisco, it's so easy to find like-minded people for me because I'm so interested in latest technologies. I started my tech job, like tech lifestyle, or maybe we can say tech career life, with like building robots. When I was just, I don't know, I think I was 14 or 13, something like that. I was building robots, and then my dream was having a humanoid friend in the future, which is hopefully gonna happen soon. So this is how it started. And then, yeah, basically, and now like I live there, and it's so easy to find those people who are interested in like AI, robotics, blockchain, like all the latest technologies. And also, like, you know, all the new technologies are coming from San Francisco to the world. And it's so good to be part of the, you know, the pioneers hub. I feel so lucky to live there.
So gratitude is what I hear, right?
Yes,
and
exactly.
And kind of it's radiating from you. It's really beautiful. Thanks for sharing that. It's so interesting, I find, because these days with technology evolving at such a fast pace, right? I think a lot of people worry about, where will human beings end up in this? Will we even be pushed away by the robots, right? By tech? But within you, these two seem to be coming together, and in a way that they coexist, right? That's basically, you being fascinated, being passionate about the robotics, but then also the humanness in community itself. So it's interesting because it's like computer science, it's what you studied. And I think often we would think these are people who are very much into tech, or more into tech, or feel maybe even more comfortable in the tech world, right? Have you felt that you were maybe different as such a community person in the tech world? Is that, are you standing out
exactly.
for that?
And actually, not just me, like thinking about it, like basically the people that I met in San Francisco while I was, because even when I was just working, like I was taking off days and just, you know, flying to San Francisco just for 2 weeks, 3 weeks to, you know, to get myself updated about the latest news. Because I mean, of course, like internet makes us connected in some ways, but in my opinion, like we should be there. Like, so basically, like some people like think that Silicon Valley is over. There's no, like, you know, you don't need to live there. Everything is remote. I don't think so. Like, because I meet with the people who are building those technologies, like who started, who are the pioneers of those technologies. So, I mean, I don't just hear the news, what media says, or what they just wrote it on the Twitter, like, or their posts on Instagram. It's the super real connection with those people. So that's why I think it's always good to be at the hub, like at the places, if you are into, like, you know, any industry. So for example, if I will be into like fashion, probably I'll be in like New York or like Paris, like, you know, somewhere like that, not in San Francisco, but I'm into tech. So that's why,
that's a place to be. Understand. And it's nice what you're saying. So you're starting with the fact that people are behind technology first. So it actually starts with people, goes into tech. Once the tech is developed, it goes to people again, right? So it's this nice chain of, tech is just something that connects us also with the visions of the founders. And what have you learned from the people you surround yourself with? What are some key lessons, or
first of all, we are more connected than ever before right now with all the new communication tools, social media and stuff. And we are also super lonely on the other side. Like, technology, of course, helps us to connect with each other, but at the same time, if we don't use it in a balanced way, it can be really isolating in some ways. So that's why I believe the power of technology, but at the same time, I believe the power of real connection. So all these like events, all these experiences that I had last 2 years, living in San Francisco, living in Los Angeles in some months, like I learned that it's all about the connection. It's all about the network that you have. because if you are in the right bubbles, when you move to any country, like you can just, move forwards like super fast, or you can just feel like, oh, this city is not for me. There are a lot of people like in San Francisco, they feel like it's not my city.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of people like they love San Francisco because they are in the same bubble, basically. So I think it's all about people around you. So, for example, like we are in Dubai right now. There are a lot of conferences are happening and they're all like, I'm so into like personal development and also like creator economy. Like these are all happening right now. It's so amazing. But you need like somebody or some kind of event to connect you. So basically, or some kind of community. So that's why I think people should be aware of that, because if they know that, it's not the city's problem. It's not the country's thing. It's sometimes all about the people. For example, I said that, San Francisco is really good, Silicon Valley and all. It's not because of I like of course, the nature, weather, it's so good. But at the same time, it's all about the people.
Yeah.
Like if we can just make those people to move to somewhere, just an island, probably I would have fun again, like because they're my bubble right now. So that's what I learned. It's not about the location. It's all about the people. It's all about the experience.
And do you think it is important to also at times step out of the bubble for, like new insights? Do you do any of that? Or is it like the bubble is big enough to explore? Yeah,
actually, I'm trying to also explore other bubbles through that's why I'm traveling.
Think of bubble bath, like different bubbles around.
Exactly. So I'm trying to get familiar with the other circles, like other industries. That's why my friends are not just people in tech, but also people in like neuroscience, people in psychology, because I learned also a lot about how to work with these people, because okay, you can build tech, but who's gonna use that product? So basically, we should also understand that, and also we should understand how the human brain works and how the sociologically that product is applicable to any country, all those things. That's why it's always good to be part of different circles and different perspectives. So, and I believe that the founders and also tech people, they can build their products, businesses, if they make themselves into if they just sorry if they can just meet with other people in different industries, they should basically expose themselves to different perspectives to build better products, to build better strategies, especially for the go-to-market, also marketing, growth, all these things, or sales. Even the sales is not same with Dubai and San Francisco. People's perspective for the products are super different. Raising money from Dubai and San Francisco is super different. It's so that's why it's always good to be part of different circles always.
Yeah, so it means we are kind of a global world, globally connected, but there's still a need and a room for tailoring, right, based on where we're at on the globe. Now, you mentioned, obviously you have the tech development, that's development, and you mentioned your passion and interest in personal development. So what's been your personal development journey?
Oh, it's actually so interesting because my parents kept me busy when I was a kid. I was a busy kid. I didn't have any free time. I was just going to the conservatory. I was playing piano. And right after that, I was going to ice skating. And after my ice skating class, I had a swimming class. And I was a professional swimmer, professional ice skater. So, and also I was in the conservatory at the same time. And not just these. When I had time, I was also having some classes about different languages. And I was so busy all the time. My friends were even when I was a kid, they were, when are we gonna meet? I was like, I don't know. Like, I need to get ready for this.
That's why you wanted the robot, so the robot can go to classes or to meet friends, depending on,
Exactly. Yeah. So digital twin, maybe.
Yes, exactly.
Something, So, yeah. And so what was the question?
Your personal development journey.
So basically, I started like that. So my parents kind of made me like so busy because they believe that personal development is the key for success. And success is, I think really important for my parents' side, because my brother is also influencer. He is also a medical doctor. Like, my sister is an engineer. Like, they're all just, hustlers kind of. And then that's why when I was growing up in that house, like, everyone was doing something. And either you need to build something or you need to create something, either content, it can be content, or it can be a robot, it can be you can just write something, but you need to do something. Like, this is like how our brains wired. So, and then also it's not just them. They weren't like forcing us to, like, you have to, of course we were busy, we didn't have time, but we were having so much fun. Like, that's why we were doing that. Nothing was like by force or something. And I remember I was also, when we are going to the shopping or something, basically I was always trying to find the bookshelves. So where are they? Like, my parents were shopping and I was I was reading the books there and waiting for them. Like, basically I never like going to shop, like, do all these things. It was like kind of waste of time for me. For women, it's so like surprising, probably. Like,
I would be with you.
Yeah. Like, how can we automate the things that I need? Like, I don't want to just go and decide which color to buy. Like, so basically I was just reading the books. I was trying to find what is new, like all these things. So yeah, I believe the power of personal development. And this is how my life always like kind of changed, like all the time. When I think about, my peers and also my friends, like, I was always trying to build something, do something, and focus on how can I be like better than like today? What should I do tomorrow so I can do it better? And like all these things. So yeah, I believe the power of personal development. And also with all these like social media content tools, now we have a lot of like opportunities. So there is no excuse to not to develop ourselves. Only excuses you don't want it. And it's okay. Like, you can just take a break or something. But if somebody wants to do something, I think there are a lot of ways right now. We are so lucky.
Yeah, true. Also that we need to take ownership, right? It's us. No one will do it for us if we don't do it.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Now, what is interesting is that you build community professionally. So it's communities are your business. How do you navigate your personal need for community? How much space is there still for communities that are really not business, or is it blurring, the boundaries maybe? How is it for you?
Yeah, it's a good question, actually. While I was working for corporates, it was like a bit, I didn't have so much boundaries because I was into tech. I was building tech developer communities, and my friends, my close circle was in the communities because we are like-minded, we are friends. And then that's why there wasn't any boundary. But it wasn't the best, experience for me, because when you don't have any boundary between your personal life and work, like all the people, like at the same, it's a bit interesting lifestyle. It's not so bad, but like there's no break kind of. So, but now it kind of changed. Now I'm mostly like, I mostly hang out with friends like who are founders, but in different industries. Yeah. So like we help each other a lot with this thing. And also like, when I think about what I'm doing, like when I'm not working, when I'm not building a strategy for business, I mostly hang out with like same people. I have like, I know a lot of people, but I have just a couple of friends that I hang out with mostly. When my friends are watching this, they're going to say no. They're going to say, no, it's not true.
We need this robot. We need the robot.
No, it's true. In my mind, I feel like I always hang out with same people. Might be a little bit too much. But I feel like there are just a couple of people that I hang out. So that's what I feel.
It's perception,
actually.
right?
Yeah.
It's what your
the
feelings are
perception.
relevant, of course.
Oh, yeah, it's so funny. So, yeah.
Yeah, and I see the emotion, which is very beautiful as
so
well.
funny, yeah.
Yeah, and I was just thinking, yeah, community overwhelm is a term that just came up in my mind, because personally I know that as soon as I engage somewhere these days, there's a community, right? And I personally, as a community member or a client or whatever, I can not keep up with all the communities. How does that feel at the other end when you, I mean, have you ever struggled to create engagement in a community that you're building professionally? And if so, how are you navigating that?
Basically, I mean, of course, it's not the easiest thing ever. It's a little bit complicated, especially like, of course, I'm a little bit extroverted, but also I have an introverted side too. Because, I'm a developer inside, like in that. So I can be like, so basically, when I think about like some moments, I talk with a lot of people, especially like after the events, like during the events, like I talk a lot of people after the events. People are reaching out to me. They're asking questions. Of course, like it's overwhelming. It's draining sometimes. That's why I am trying to like navigate myself to find like people. I mean, I think it's the naturally like happened. Now I sense that some people just want to talk with me for like maybe a couple of days, not a long-term project, just for, like this person is like, building communities. We might do something in the future, or she's popular, so probably she's going to these events, so we can go. Like I have these things so much. But at the same time, some people are like, oh yeah, we can build something together, something impactful, instead of just, just kind of 1 week thing or 2-3 days, just texting or mailing each other and no value. So that's why I'm trying to focus on those relationships after the events, after building communities. And during the, like, for example, when I'm building a new community, of course, I feel like, okay, now I need to set my boundaries and also understand that like this is a business thing. This is not personal thing. If people are gonna bond, it's my success. If not, it's not my success kind of perspective. Instead of this, I'm like, oh yeah, this is the vibe of the community. This is our goals and this is what I want to achieve. But if it doesn't work, it's okay. Like, but mostly it works because people need a connection. People are looking for like real, authentic connections. That's why it mostly works. But from my side, personally, I feel mostly drained. That's why I'm trying to find people whom I can build together, build an impactful things together, not just, just a chat or like something, just surface level. I don't like these things. I like deeper level relationships with people. So
yeah, that's, I mean, so relevant. Again, as we said before, right, in today's times, probably even more after all we've been through also with COVID and so on, and the isolations that have happened and keep building at times as technology advances. Yeah, nice. Now back to the robot, because I really liked that. I don't know if you still want a robot friend or is that, but if we go back to the past, can you remember what you would have liked, or what was the vision for this friend that you wanted one? Was it purely technical, or did you see, or would you see robots as, I mean, in what way would that be a nice friendship, knowing how you value depth also in connections,
Basically, I was trying to build a humanoid who can understand me better. Like, because I have friends, I have people around me, and of course, I have parents, siblings, like they all listen to me, they all trying to understand me. But I believe that we need a system to be understood well. Like we need like some kind of machine which can store the whole data, which can see the whole patterns, and then see why you feel like this, why you should feel like this, why you should just do something, something that can just, some kind of algorithm helps you to move forward. I think we need something like that. Now, like, of course, like there are a lot of updates on the LLM side, AI side, and also like the AI agents that we are also developing in my company. Like these are all like so exciting. But at the same time, I think in the future, we're gonna expose ourselves more than ever, especially for our human needs, like psychological needs, because I think we all want to see the patterns like between our thoughts. I mean, I want it. I don't know if you want it or not, but I would prefer to see, like, for example, my life after the events, mostly I feel super gratitude, appreciated, like, feeling awesome, like, wow, like so many people energized and also at the same time exhausted and stuff. And the next day I feel a little bit empty because, yesterday was like so good, a lot of energy, a lot of excitement. And today is just a normal day. Like nothing happened yesterday and life is going. So, the magic of the events, magic of the gathering, it's just, that moment basically. But this is the thing that I feel all the time. And, just when I just even save this data, why I feel like this, all the time, I'm like, okay, because I'm having a lot of conversations with people like during that time. And then, talking about it. We are building the connections and then we are not talking anymore. So I'm like, oh yeah, there's a pattern actually, some kind of, so I can understand that. Or like, after the calls with the clients, if they don't sign the, contract right after, I'm like, wow, am I doing right? Or like, what did I do wrong? But like, and it's actually not about them. Like sometimes it's just because not the right time. Sometimes like the budget is a bit high for them. Like there are a lot of like reasons. So basically we need some kind of system to understand people. And it's just my life. My life is a bit more complicated, maybe for a person like who is 70 years old or like 60 years old, because those people are just having that little bit more stable life. They don't have like these kinds of, unexpected situations. Even they need to feel heard and seen. So yeah, we need that. Yeah.
I love what you're saying about this need to be heard and seen and understood. Yeah, and that's often what causes this trauma also, and then work for therapists and so on, right? So it's really interesting because I'm thinking also what we already have in terms of apps, mostly health related, right? That collect data about our sleep patterns, and there's probably, I see that an evolution of that might be to go into these emotional, I think what you're describing is emotional kind of cycles or the data for that. It sounds to me also a bit, do you think it can be, the work you do can be addictive also a bit, these highs and the dopamine?
Exactly. My God. Like when you're on the stage or when you're just welcoming people, when you're hosting something, it's like too much dopamine, like because you feel the energy. They're excited. You are together. You're at somewhere, like you're sharing that experience, like, and then everything is like so high. And the next day you're sleeping and then, waking up and then it's just, okay, so that's
just
it.
A podcast.
Just a podcast. So yeah. And then, so that's why it's so important to understand like those like high moments and all these things. Like I think kind of like managing the hormones, kind of managing our brains, like these things are like really important to understand. That's why I think robots are going to be really successful in this life because like they don't have the hormones and stuff. Like, sometimes we need to be like a robot to be like successful in the like the, some kind of technological things or the business world and something. Because, when you become like, up and down person, unstable in something, it's really hard to, achieve like the things that you want to do.
Yeah, and you mentioned stability, and that maybe for different generations, the stability factor or might be different. Now, what I sensed or believe I heard from you is that your life is a bit more volatile, right? It is a so yeah, how do you deal with that?
Yeah, it's a good question. First of all, it's not just my life. All of my founder friends are like this. I think it's the nature of being an entrepreneur. I mean, it can be stable when things are going like itself, and if you're in the board position, then okay, you're just making money or not making money, two options. But when you are into the business, and if you have a tech company, you have up and downs for everything. Like basically, there is a team thing is like super dynamic because people are inside, like people feel different every day. So, and you need to manage their feelings. When you don't, like, for example, you didn't reply one of your main team members 2 days. Probably that person is going to think a lot of things because human, That's why you need to manage like all the communications well and all the expectations well. And also you need to understand the market, if there are any competitors, like all these things are just making you feel like you need to be always like on and on. What can make things like easier is like setting some kind of like stable things in life. That's why I like picked some friends in my life. They're my kind of support mechanisms. Like when I feel like, oh yeah, things are going volatile now, because I have investment calls, but at the same time sales calls, but at the same time some mentor calls, like, all those things are just affecting my strategy, my next steps and everything. So I just, call them and then say to them, let's just meet. Let's just go for a hike. Let's just, just do something a little bit different than what I'm doing. And then I just take a break and then refresh myself and then come back and continue. But it's like that. This is the nature of being a founder. But I feel grateful again to be a founder because I'm doing something that I'm passionate about. I'm trying to solve the problem I really care about. So yeah, that's why, it's a good thing. Yeah. It's a crazy good thing. Yeah. It's like love.
That's nice. Oh, wow. That's beautiful. Yeah. That's beautiful. Yeah. And you left, in that sense, a stable corporate job. And I think a lot of people prefer that kind of security and safety, right? To go into the crazy love. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. I mean, even my parents, like they have normal, like stable jobs, doctor, engineer, like that. They're like, what are you doing? Like, just find a job instead of, doing this crazy thing, because they know that like how hard it is, because, I'm also like, so far away, 13 hours of flight, San Francisco to Istanbul. When I want to see them, I need to fly so much. Yeah. And at the same time, the time difference. But the thing is like, it's not about, I should just understand that there are challenges, but at the same time, I am going to be resilient after understanding those challenges. Because I think like healing, understanding those journeys is not about, okay, this is hard. Okay, I need to run away now. It's about the capacity. I'm kind of increasing the capacity of myself, capacity of taking all these hardness, like challenges, like everything basically. Now, like some people are telling me, Merve, what you are building, we don't get it. How are you going to make this? Is there any difference between the other startup? Are you doing the same thing? In the past, I was like, oh, it's my baby. Don't say this, kind of. But now I'm like, oh, let me give you some examples. Let me talk about it. Or if they don't understand, I'm like, oh, thank you for your feedback and bye. Like, I'm like, I change a lot. Like, a lot of things change. Now I feel myself super calm and super understand the mission and just doing what I need to do instead of, my emotions cannot, change my logical like path, basically. Yeah.
Yeah, so you're building a stable, that's nice actually,
Exactly.
a foundation of resilience, right? And this is actually even increasing as you go through the other emotional peaks and drops maybe. Yeah, that's very nice. You mentioned your tech company, your own tech company. Is that the one called Marvelous?
Exactly.
And what is it again? What kind of tech that you do with Marvelous? Let's see if we understand. Before you say goodbye.
Like, first of all, like, I've been building communities, and especially I love connecting like-minded people because I see the magic like there. And at the same time, I see a lot of like startups, tech companies are having hard time to find customers, having hard time to find fans for their products. And then I also see that there is a good potential for the creator economy. So there are a lot of creators, like influential people. So basically, I wanted to connect these three like main things, and then build Marvelous. Marvelous connects brands with their ideal customers through in-person events. So we are B2B basically, and we use agentic AI for event planning for the businesses. So businesses, if they want to host an event and launch their product in anywhere in the world, they can just, book a call with us. And afterwards, like our agents, like AI agents, can help them to find right local creator and also local venue, local host to make it possible. So there is no third man. So they're just doing it themselves. And this is how it works. So with this opportunity, like those creators are making money from the experiences.
Yeah.
They're just showing up to the events. And their audience is mostly those brands' target audience. They are targeting this. Like, think about, there's an influencer about yoga, and then you are selling the yoga mats. So basically, if instead of you are telling them, I'm launching a brand during Coachella, if you say that like this influencer having a meetup thanks to this yoga mat brand, and then probably more people are going to show up to your event. And also you can sell your products faster.
You're expanding, kind of you're joining forces. I mean, I don't necessarily like the term, but you're bringing people together that can, the combination then of these elements will create an expansion in reach. Yeah,
exactly. We have a distribution network. This thing is actually like, I built this business model while I was building all those like developer communities. And I noticed that there is no way to make those automated way. And there are a lot of details inside the event planning.
Yeah.
And you need to just WhatsApp people. There is no way to make things faster, basically. So that's why I decided to, make things faster. So not everybody needs to know all these details. We can just make it super fast. So basically this is how it works. We understand firstly, like how it works is like, firstly, brand is coming to us and they're telling us, this is our website, this is our brand. And then we capture the whole data, understand that they're ideal customers. And then we have the creators' data, and then we have the matching system. And afterwards, like we understand which region they want to launch, and then connecting them with the other parts. And also we have a lot of things also inside. So basically, you can just launch, for example, this podcast brand anywhere in the world in just maybe less than 6 months. Wow. And 6 months is like for you to focus, the social media, all these things. Like we can even do it in 1 or 2 months too. With in-person events. Yeah, and
I just witnessed, right, that over the last few months you have created this launch of the reflection lingerie.
For example, yesterday, the event was really good in terms of like so many people came there through the content creators, Regan, Anna. They're both creating content in different topics. And then they were there not for the lingerie, like they were there for the basically manifestation, and also Anna's like content about therapy, psychology, like all those things. So basically people want to follow people instead of products. This is one thing that people are missing out when they're doing sales. Sales is not about the product thing. Sales is all about like believing the mission, believing the where it is going. That's why like the products are selling not because of the product. Of course, the product should be good, but also people should believe the mission, believe the founder. That's why the founder marketing is important. And if you are not a founder who is influencer, you need to find an influencer to influence people for your brand.
I understand.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Very, very powerful insights.
Of course.
Is there a first that you would like to create in the near future, that you would like to see in the world?
Currently, like we are using the first, I think, agentic AI for event planning, because there is no company like that for businesses. So that's the first one. And what I want to do is like, I want to use technology not to separate people, isolate people, instead connecting people. I hope the humanoids are going to come soon. And then I want to create community building strategies for those humanoids so they can be the community moderators. They can create those engagements and they can help to find us our most like-minded people. So maybe love of our lives, or maybe our co-founders, business partners, or best friends, like those people, because they will have the whole data from us. So they can be a good community engagement experts. Yeah.
What a powerful vision. Thank you so much for sharing that. And I can already see the many firsts that will follow on the path to get there. Thank you so much for connecting in person today. Wish you all the best with those next first steps.
Thanks, you.
Merve. Thank you, everyone. If you liked today's episode, it would mean the world to us if you like it, if you share it with anyone who could need a boost in courage and inspiration. And we would also like to hear from you. What are your reflections? How do you create meaningful connections and firsts in your life? Share with us in the comments, and we'll see you next first time. Until then, much love and courage. Ciao.